till the end, and we'll start. Ba-ba-bum. Good morning, Brother Tom. How are you this morning?
I'm good, doing great, brother Todd.
Brother. Yeah,
Oh goodness.
it's a Friday morning. It's a beautiful day. We had a rain yesterday, which we needed, and flowers are blooming, and the sky is clear, and I made a couple of good purchases at a estate sale yesterday.
Nothing at the
Things things are peachy keen up in this neck of the woods.
nothing at did you find anything at the
Yeah, I bought a pair of $60 boots at the Lutherans for $10,
nice.
and they had bag sale days, so I got two. They had a big bag sale. It was like two bags for $10, or one bag for $10.
Did you fill it up?
I got two bags.
Oh, you got two bags.
Yeah, they had two bags for $10, or one bag for $10. I was like, okay, I'll go ahead and fill two.
So two bags, huh? Uh
Yeah,
Beulah and Modine.
yeah. It's not the kind of bags I was getting. But yeah, I went to Lutherans and they're just clothes.
Right,
Whenever I need a easy list day,
right.
I just do clothes. I mean, it's kind of like mindless activity. You just hang them on a hanger, take a picture, and take some pictures and list them. It's just one right after the other till you're done.
How many did you get listed?
None.
Okay.
Lag hates listing clothes. Let's see who we got in here. We got the lag. We got Jabus. He had his monthly shower every month. Jabus, that's a lot. Well, since my soap is affected by the tariffs, I can't do it. I'm down to semi-annual. Thanks, Mr. Trump. Jabus blames Canada for the definitely Canada. Good morning, Hank. How are you, young lady? Good morning, Ping. How's California this morning? Chastity. 24K. Yeah, I saw in the news this morning that Myanmar had a 7.7 on the Richter scale earthquake. That's not good.
No.
Myanmar makes a lot of the stuff we buy in America, right? Used to be called Burma, correct? That's right.
Where's
No,
that?
nobody fussed at me over being out last week. Uh, Dang it, I forgot to get coffee.
Did they
My volume is low. No, I think I think Tom's is just kind of high. But let me check. Let's
How about
see.
now?
Settings.
I turned my mic down some.
Audio. My mic volume is turned up as high as it'll go.
Sound fine to me.
I'm whispering.
Who said you whispering?
Got it. Oh, wait. Said my volume is low.
Maybe you need to turn it up just a little. Turn your speaker up just a little bit.
I just looked at it. It's full blast. Supplement my monthly showers by swimming in Todd's pool. Turns money. Bummer of the morning. 4 U.S. soldiers died in Lithuania. M88 recovery vehicle sank in a swamp.
Oh, that's right.
Dang. Dun, dun. Lithuania is northeast of Germany. Aloha. Good morning, Spam. Yeah, it's formerly Burma. Siam.
As in the king and I.
Yeah.
Shall we dance? Boom, boom, boom.
You hate clothes, but your wife picks them up and listen. I don't list clothes until I just want just mindless activity, you know.
I was going to say, I thought you was going to say until you don't have anything else to list.
No, I got other things I can list. Turn up the radio. Dang. Here, I'll turn my mic off and restart it.
How do I sound? Am I too loud?
Okay, how about now?
Sound good to me.
Sound good to you?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Spam says we both sound fine.
Well, thank you.
You sound fine, Tom.
Spam, I've been wanting I keep telling Roberta I'm going to make her some spam fried rice for dinner. And she's like, well, you go ahead and make that. I'll have takeout.
What? Turn up the radio.
Turn the radio on.
Okay, it sounds great. All right, on that note, I'm going to go. I forgot to get fresh coffee. I'm going to go get me some coffee. Be right back.
Sure. So, how was everybody's day yesterday? I'll I'll take over Todd's show while he's gone away. Never leave. I don't have any homespun humor today. I'm just you have to give me a subject to talk about. Felix, are you in Thailand on vacation?
Do-do-do. All right, I'm back.
I just don't have. I don't know. I just don't got it today, Texas.
who's sick?
Me, because he said, tell us a story about the good old days or something of that sort. And I'm like, I just don't have it in me today. I don't. You got to give me a topic to work from. And these are not sheets; these are drapes behind me. Whoever said that she was gonna get tired of washing the sheets,
Drapes.
curtains for you people in the South.
All right. So yeah, after the Lutherans, I noticed there was an estate sale about a half a mile from my house.
So what'd you
So I
buy?
went. This is a pocket watch. It's got a very pretty floral etching pattern on it.
Uh huh.
While I was there, I wound it and it started running. It's been running great since
It's an
since
hour
I brought it
off.
home. It's not an hour off. You live in the wrong time zone, dummy.
Is it?
Anyway,
Is it gold?
now it's gold plated.
Okay.
It's amazing though. This watch was built in 1910.
Wow.
This watch is 115 years old.
And it's still ticking.
And it's pretty amazing that it's got the second hand at the bottom, and then the only bad thing about this watch is the crystal is just badly cracked. It's gonna have a new crystal. But a good watch person can install a new crystal without much trouble. So how do I know this watch is made in 1910? It doesn't have a stamp on it. Well, let me show you. It's time for some education.
Educate us.
So, if you open the back of a pocket watch and read the serial number that's written on the movement, not the serial number that's written on the case, the serial number that's written on the movement.
Right.
There's a website called pocketwatchdatabase.com. And for free, this uh, this company has records of pretty much every pocket watch that was ever made, or at least vintage pocket watch. So here it is. I punched in the serial number and it brought up. So it was made by Elgin National, grade 295. The movement serial number is right there that I typed in. It's a model number 2. It was made in 1910, estimated production year. They made 2,000 of these movements. The size of the watch is a 6S. It has 15 jewels. It's a hunting case, which if you look up pocket watches, you can see what a hunting case is. Da-da. It is 3/4 plate. It's interesting, on the inside of the watch it says the plating is guaranteed for 10 years. The plating on the watch is still really good. So either this watch wasn't used a lot, or their guarantee goes well beyond 10 years.
Does it look like it just wasn't used a lot?
It's got kind of a indented, kind of like it was pressed pretty hard at one time or another on the
Right.
on the back side. But yeah. So anything you wanted to know about an old pocket watch, just go to pocketwatchdatabase.com and it will pretty much tell you exactly about the watch that you have. So if the crystal wasn't broken, this watch would be over $100. I'll probably list it for 80 and it should sell at that price. I paid 20. No, not many dings. The backside, let's see, let me get out of this sharing. So the backside right in here is kind of pressed inward, like it was hit or kind of mashed a little bit. But it doesn't affect the look very much, and it does not
Right.
affect that the back can be opened easily. The hinges still work fine. And the inside cover is also a little bit indented. But you can see the wheel just going crazy. I wound it up. It's keeping very good time. I wound it yesterday, and it's keeping really good time. So there you go on that. Then at the same estate sale, I looked over at the table and they had a whole bunch of silver plate. And silver plate is not worth the trouble. But I always look at the bottom just in case. And I found this piece. And you won't be able to see it very well through my crappy camera. But right there, it says sterling. I'm like, sweet. So this is the price sticker they had on it. $6.
Mm-hmm.
And this piece weighs almost 10 ounces.
Just the top piece?
No, the whole
Oh,
bowl and top piece.
right.
And silver is $34.50 an ounce right now.
Good morning, Mr. Sadie.
So that makes this piece worth more than $300.
Wow.
So I was excited. When I set it on the table, she looked at the price sticker and said, okay, that is listed for $6. I thought she was going to look at the bottom and find the sterling mark. But she didn't. So
How much would you have paid for that?
if the company knew it was sterling,
Yeah, let's just say, yeah, they knew it was sterling, but they were discounting, they were discounting it for this sale. What do you think you would have paid up for it?
well, it's a no-brainer. It's basically if you're buying it to resale, it's basically a no-brainer up to $250.
Right.
You're still going to make $50 on it, selling it on eBay even, if you spend up to $250 for the piece. But had the company known it was sterling, they would have put a little bit higher price tag on it than $6. So every once in a while, estate sale companies, they miss stuff.
They're probably going to start watching your show now. Damn it! Who marked that thing $6? They're fired.
That's a good point, Lag. Is that ethical when you go to an estate sale and you know something is mispriced? Do you tell them? I don't think that's my job to tell the estate sale company.
No, they're getting paid to.
They meant 600.
They they're getting paid to run the show, and if they're not being cautious enough,
Yeah, and I don't know the arrangement that estate sales have with um, the the owners of the estate,
right?
but it is true it's their job to get maximum that they can for the people that own the estate.
Right. Well, let me ask you this, Todd.
But is that ethical to go ahead and pay the $6 and walk out with it?
Uh, Too bad, so sad. You saw $6 on this silver bowl here. Did you? Because it was $6. Did the thought cross your mind to just walk on, or do you look at everything that's silver?
I
Do you get what I'm asking? Because I'm
I
wondering how many people saw that big old silver bowl with a lid, saw $6 on it, and they're like, "Ah, it's plated or it's polished aluminum."
It wasn't polished. It was nearly black. I polished it
Oh, did
yesterday.
you? Okay.
Uh-huh.
Well, you get what I'm asking. It was $6. You know.
Yeah, and gosh, I would say 98% of the time, an item that looked like this one did yesterday when I bought it is going to be silver plate.
Right.
I mean, you could tell it was silver because of the tarnish that was
Right.
on it. But
But would it be worth $6 if it was silver plate?
no, the only way it'd be worth $6 is if you just wanted it to use yourself.
Right.
Then it might be worth $6.
Because I was just wondering, what time of day was it when you? Well, it was after 10:30 before you left here, 9:30 your time. Then you went to see your girlfriends at the thrift store, and then you went there. So it was what, noon when you went by there?
Yeah, it's pretty close to noon before I got to the estate sale.
Was there had they had a lot of traffic, or could you tell? Or I'm just wondering, was it the fact that it was $6? Is that the reason it was still sitting there? Somebody just said, "Ah, it's silver plate," you know.
Probably. You know, I'm fortunate in that this estate sale is in my little hometown, right?
Right,
Had this been over in Waco, there would have been a bunch of folks over in there checking every piece before I got there.
right,
So in a Waco estate sale, this piece would, I'm positive it would not still be there. Somebody would have found it because some people go to estate sales and the first thing they look at is jewelry and then the silver,
right.
hoping to find sterling, right? So I don't think it was going to be there.
Okay, let's let's
Right.
expand this conversation a little bit. You're asking, you know, are you responsible to declare that it's worth that? Let's
Exactly right,
say
Sadie.
let's say you bought a piece of jewelry and for $3, it was a necklace, It had all kinds of colored stones on it. And later on, you identified it as a two of a kind Tiffany piece.
Why are
Worth
we
me.
going down this alley? Because it's interesting conversation, Phil.
It's
But
and you know, not Juilliard, that's a music store. Christie's. They want to auction it off it for you, and they got $2.5 million for it. Is there any precedence that y'all have ever heard of where the previous owner's estate could come back and sue you for part of the money? You get what I'm saying? Or is that what the insurance that the estate company should be carrying? That's what their insurance is supposed to cover. Their screw up.
yeah, I should have taken some video of doing the polishing, I guess.
Yeah, you should have seen it.
But I didn't. Yeah, if you look at silver, it'll be blotchy and nearly black if it's been sitting and oxidizing for a couple of decades. Yeah, it's our job to find their mistakes.
I mean, I was just curious.
Because there
People.
was a lot of stuff at that estate sale yesterday that I
Good
could
morning,
not
Val.
make money on. They had like a bunch of Murano style glass,
Right,
different animal figures and
right.
paperweights and
Good morning,
fruit,
Craig.
but it was all priced at a price that you can't buy it and sell it on eBay and make a profit.
It's priced for collectors. Craig, are you still banned from? Is Landshark still banned from this channel?
What are you talking about?
Craig, the other day he said he was. Somebody said, "Why are you in here, Craig, instead of Landshark?" And he said something about he had been banned or something of that sort.
Uh,
What's the menu this weekend? Craig, Lag don't know what the menu is until his mama brings it down
Let
the
your mind
stairs.
go numb listening to our conversation.
Well, you know what, Lag? If I was, I don't even know if I am a moderator. I would silence you for that. Okay. There is a company here in Charlotte that has a bad reputation, like for pricing stuff too high, because they have some deal with the in their contract that says they get to keep what's left over, so they price stuff high.
So, like different estate sale companies have different methods. Some have a contract with uh, with the owners that at the end of the estate sale company has to dispose of everything that's left. And some estate sale companies have a steady crew that will come in and take out everything that's left. And sometimes the estate sale companies just tell the people that own the estate that when the estate sale is over with, you're just stuck with what you got left.
Right.
So did a real pretty jacket yesterday that was like
Nice.
made in Alaska, and it was fur, like elk or deer or something mostly. Dun, dun.
No, I'm just Dewey Cheatham and Howe is always if they think they got a case, you know.
Well,
Ron, if Dewey Cheatham Howe thinks they've got a case against you, Todd, because he bought a $4 piece of jewelry that sold for $1,000,000, they're going to go out there if they think they've got a chance. Good morning,
morning
Tactical.
tactical. But they didn't take my name. They just took.
Right.
In this particular estate sale, all they were taking was cash because they're not an estate sale company that does it for a living. I think the lady just does it. The lady and her husband just do it because they like to help out and make a little money on the side.
Right.
So that's probably why. Was the jacket crunchy? I didn't feel it.
Yeah. Did it stand up on its own?
Yeah, probably.
Um,
But they had like $75 on the jacket, so I was like, no. But like most estate sale companies, everything in there was basically overpriced, except for the watch and the silver bowl. So that's why you go to estate sales. You just go and look. Seems like Beard is always coming out of estate sales with like a printer.
yeah. Or 50 pocket cameras.
Yep. Reread checks. All sales are final. Yep. I don't remember seeing that sign at the estate sale, but that's the way it's supposed to work.
I mean, I'm just asking, conversation, make you think, use that gray matter, you know. Lag is always on YouTube channels or watching Pornhub, so he needs to use his gray matter for something else.
Bum, 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 bum. Yeah.
Yeah. Or it's an estate sale and it looks like a business is going out of business, which it could, I mean, the clearance. I mean, I guess that's still an estate sale, but, most people think of a estate sale as stuff from their house.
Yeah, one of the estate sale companies in Waco has a big warehouse, and they'll run like 5 or 6 estate sales, and then their warehouse is like filled with everything that was left over that wasn't bought during the estate sale time.
Connor, are we looking at the bottom of the control panel of your treadmill directly above your blue cup?
Yeah.
Okay. I just wondered. I didn't know whether you had solar panels in there.
That's the old treadmill that has eBay inventory stacked on it. I need to get on it. Try to get some walking in before Nashville, because we're going to be on our feet a lot. Saturday. We're going to be at garage sales in the morning, and then the bins Saturday afternoon, and then the video game parlor in the evening, and then the
Huh?
diehards are going to go out and walk up and down Broadway in Nashville.
Okay. Explain this. You found a stack of silver dollar coins in a box at a garage sale and you turned them in. That's nice of you, Sandy.
Uh, who else would have done that? Not me.
Nice, Sandy. Ron would have. Lag would have, because you know, they got morals.
I don't.
When you, I look, they are like it goes back to what I was asking about the
Oh,
jewelry.
you turned them in before you paid for them, Sandy. I get you. That makes a little bit of difference, I guess.
Okay, yeah, that makes a big difference.
But I saw the sterling written on the bottom of this. I don't know. What do you do?
Todd, when you get ready to retire, you need to do a video in this estate sale companies. Look for things that you should be looking for, and show all this stuff that you bought, so you can make that big YouTube money.
Magical brooms,
What are magical brooms? If
like on the Wizard of Oz.
yeah, you got a bunch of old people out there, you know, Mama and Nana. Yeah, this is price a little cheap, or unless you just want to piss people off.
I guarantee you, though, if my channel was big like Kevin, Commonwealth Picker,
Uh huh.
he's always got several people that go on his picking channel and say, "You ripped those people off. You should have given them more money than what you did." Bottle of booze in a boot. I found silver at church sales. I found silver at garage sales.
I believe.
I don't find much gold. On a gold item, people will more likely check and look and stuff. Dun, dun. Wow, that's a good profit there, peddling profits.
I believe at
Animated
one point
Halloween.
there was a set of sterling silver Monopoly pieces. I mean, of course they were very expensive, but it's been a while back. There is a Star Trek board game, and I know there was a company that made sterling silver pieces, like little enterprises and shuttlecraft, that type of thing. They were they sold out real fast, like because they only did a limited edition of them.
Yeah, Kevin overpays a lot. He will do that though because he's got a big YouTube channel. He knows he's going to make money by just posting the video. And so I imagine Kevin doesn't worry a whole lot about what he pays for stuff. That's just my opinion.
Texas, Lag don't even know what the hell you're talking about. If you were to look
Uh,
under a 1967 car and with Lag and say, Lag, point out the carburetor, he would go completely blank.
Two Edelbrock small block Chevy aluminum heads. Dang. Yeah, Edelbrock is a famous hot rod parts manufacturer, and they've been around since, geez, probably the early 60s, maybe late 50s. There you go, Lag. Yeah, there may be stuff we don't see. Kevin likes to bundle stuff. He'll drag a whole pile of stuff up to how much you want for this. Yeah, Tom, who do you talk to when the show's not on?
Nobody, because I'm usually here by myself.
Dude, he talks to himself. You heard it here, folks.
I don't talk to myself. No, I don't bother her while she's at work, while she's working at home, and then when she goes to the bedroom, I'm usually doing something at this end of the house. But
So
since I
did you
talk
buy
too
your
much, if I talk too much, Harbors, then you need to talk to Lag when he's bored.
paint and brushes and rollers?
Yep,
All set to go, huh?
yep. I got to do a last
So
minute sanding on a couple of things that I had to touch up yesterday, and I'm going to get started.
for the next 2 weeks, folks, on the shows, Tom is going to be complaining about how sore he is.
No, because I'll be finished by the weekend. Nope, I can't. We got a function to go to on Sunday. So
You
Monday or
think you and
Tuesday.
Roberta and your boys can get that place painted in one weekend?
If it was all of us, yes, we could. But since it's me, uh, it would be a push. But I might could. Yeah, I don't know. I hope she's okay.
Yeah, Lag. I might be inclined to go back and give him a little if it was life changing money. But $300, although it's a good hit, is not going to make or break me, and it's probably not going to make or break the people that sold it to me.
But Lag also, let's expand that just a little bit further. If you've had to do a lot, you find something that's unusual, and you just like it, or you think it'll sell just because it's unusual, and then you sit down and do some research on it, and then it leads you down a rabbit hole, and you find out after spending several hours that it's worth a lot of money. Um, as somebody said, I think Jake said, all sales are final. Do you really like to paint, Sandy? God love you.
I like painting for about an hour and a half, and then I'm done. I'm bored and I'm tired, and yeah.
When I, if I'm going to do recreational painting, I'll get out my little paint by number set. That's it, Chastity. You know, especially these. If I was running an estate sale company, things that really stood out, like this bowl here that he paid $6 for, and that's worth 300 just in melt value. Somebody should have caught that. Now, I'm not trying to be negative Nancy because Todd's will make money off of it. I'm just saying, as a business person, this is supposed to be a business. Um, people are are supposed to know that they're supposed to look at stuff like that. You know, I mean, that's just my opinion. I can see where they don't go through a closet full of clothes looking for designer brands. But when you see a silver bowl sitting out that's tarnished, you at least should flip it over to see if it's sterling or not.
But it's the same thing with if you buy storage units.
Yeah.
If you go in there and you find a stash of gold coins worth $50,000, are you going to try to find the people that lost the storage unit and try to give them
You will
some money
never
for it?
know well, you might. Scott might. Even Craig might.
And there have been a few videos out where people that used to own a storage unit would try
Go
to
back.
find the people that bought it and get some or all of their stuff back.
But you would never know that I found it. It would not be. There would not be a live storage unit cleaning out because you know, like what's his name, the pirate from California. Um, you know who is it? Pirate ship? No, that's that's a transit. I mean, that's a shipping company. But he would go through storage units, live, and he would find all these gold rings and things like that. No, that wouldn't be happening. All that would be just or or the 5 gallon jug of a 5 gallon jug of quarters, and it turns out there's a lot of silver quarters in it. No, you would never know about it. I think that's just asking for problems, especially if you find gold. That was my great grandmother's gold ring. I want it back.
Hmm.
Life is tough. I want to be rich instead of so handsome, but I'm dealt what I got. To get that.
Hmm. I agree, Tom. You're so handsome. Mm. You have to beat the ladies off with a stick.
Javis. Storage Action Pirate. Thank you, Craig. But I don't know, well, they would have to do the
Sure.
shipping on. No such thing as seller's remorse. Yeah, only buyer's remorse.
Uh, no, I don't want to get into melting metals. Too much effort.
You're just, what do you think you'll list it for?
Already listed it for 325,
Oh, okay.
but I won't sell it for less than three because that's what it's worth in melt value. Actually, 325 is probably pretty good because for a buyer because silver just keeps going up.
Jabus, what kind of, there a big difference? See, he's an estate sale company owner, not little Mama or Aunt Imogene just trying to get rid of some crap.
Bum, bum, bum.
Oh, well, life is tough. What is this? News fridge court sides with couples of. Damn it. Lag, lag, you're gonna make me. In a nutshell, what's it say? What happened? Did they have to return it or something? I don't want to have to pull up YouTube to be able to scan that. Oh, I can. Never mind.
So what's that? Gosh, it's been like 8 or 9 years ago. There was a report of a guy that bought a storage unit, and there was like $20 million of mob money in there, cartel money,
Now
and I think the buyer worked out a deal with the mob so they wouldn't come after him. They gave him a cut. That's just how the story went. I don't know if any of that's true, but they let him keep like $1 million and they took the other 19 just so they wouldn't come after him. Because that could happen on a rare occasion. What would you do in a case like that? I suppose the prudent thing to do would be to turn it into the authorities.
um
Maybe keep a few $100,000.
I used to follow this guy who, when I first started YouTube eBay stuff, watching eBay stuff on YouTube, and he was down in Atlanta, and he said he found $10,000 in cash in a storage unit, and he said, for the record, I deposited it, bit by bit into my business checking account, so it was all accounted for. But he's
Imagine, imagine a cartel could put pressure on the owner of a storage unit to disclose the information about who bought the unit.
Yeah, but you know what? If I was following, okay, it was part of a drug cartel. There's probably a case open on them somewhere or investigation. I would think that the if I was a detective and I know Todd's been running pot and he's got a storage unit that comes up for sale for some reason, I would be in there throwing a bunch of money in it just to see if it would help my case against him. But then again, and that's one of the things to think about. You buy a storage unit and it's got a bunch of cash in it or gold. And the guy that had it worked with the family and he had an accident. So the building um, didn't get paid. So you buy it and then you have some guys come knocking on your front door because they have tied that, you know, that unit to their associate that had the accident and want their money back. Chastity, you got a sale? Yeah.
Chastity.
I have an acquaintance, I have a friend who is on the CMPD. And I asked him one time, I said, because we were talking about storage units, I said, if you find something questionable in a storage unit, should you contact the authorities? And he said, it's a roll of the dice. Because if you buy a storage unit with a bunch of CP in it, then there might be somebody watching.
Yeah.
or if there's a lot of cash in it because it was owned by a drug dealer that had an accident, there could be people watching it. So,
Yeah,
did that make any sense?
yeah.
So, in other words, like the CP, he said, before you take anything out of it, once you find it, then you might want to check with the police.
Now, I did buy a storage unit probably 8 years ago, and it had a 22 rifle in it. So I did write down the serial number and go to my local police department, and they were happy to run a check on it to see if it was stolen
Yeah.
or used in a crime.
If I was a,
I think that makes sense to do, but I
if I
didn't
was,
have to. I could have
yeah,
just sold it in my garage sale and
if I was a coder like Craig is, I would have already created a website or an app that's called "They Took My Shit," and it's where you could go in and list all the things that's been stolen from you on it, and people could check serial numbers. But as far as handguns and guns and stuff like that goes, according to Chuck, you really want to, because some places they confiscate the handguns, but he's like, that gun could have been involved in a murder situation, some illegal activity.
yeah, lag, I got your gun.
So, Lag, I was looking at the article that you were just talking about, which goes back to what I was talking about. Um, the link he posted real fast, like, was somebody bought an a couple sold a mask, an antique mask, for $157, and they turned around and listed it or sold it at auction for $4.4 million. The couple hired an attorney and filed a suit against the antiques dealer, who believed they cheated them.
No, I sold it years ago, lag.
And that a court has said that they had a valid case, and now has appears to be well founded in principle, but and the funding, the whole case has been frozen. The money's been frozen. So that goes back to, like I said, you can find an attorney that will do anything. So thank you, Lag. Even though that's France and the EU. Well, Jabus, we were going to buy a couple of handguns from a shop that my nephew worked at, and they wouldn't sell it to me because I lived in North Carolina.
Hmm.
Because it has to be, I could have bought it from them, but then I would have had to pay a gun dealer in Charlotte to process the purchase. I think I might have said Lag, but Japers.
Dun, dun.
What did Mr. Sadie say that Ron is amening?
Right here. I already have a bad conscience. Might as well have the money too.
Yeah.
Wider.
I mean, okay. Todd looked at, he flipped the bowl over and saw it was sterling silver. Who the hell took that thing out of the box and set it on a table somewhere and didn't flip it over and look at it? I mean, really, deduct the doggone $300 from their pay, because that was just stupid.
But I'm sure the family didn't know it was sterling either, or they would have just kept it and not put it in the sale.
Yeah.
Speaking of
Hey,
low
Jake.
life grifters,
Good morning.
hi Jake. Jake rips off people by paying retail for Starbucks mugs and then selling them for 10 times the money.
That's right.
But you got to remember, I know Todd's being sarcastic. I mean, he's joking. But you got to think about it. Somebody has collected, what was the black and white ones? What were those called?
Relief series.
Okay. They've got all the relief series except the one from Tokyo.
Sarawak or somewhere, yeah.
Yeah. They're never going to go to Tokyo to get the chance to get it. So
Right.
they're willing to pay $100 for they'll have the complete collection, which probably still not worth the $100, but they will have a complete collection of those mugs.
Yep.
People that are reselling them are not going to pay double. They're not going to pay up just because Jake is a good guy and people should be buying it.
Exactly. There's other things other than collectible value. There's the value of the collection, or there's just the satisfaction of knowing that you collected them all. It's like what people are doing right now and paying. Oh, what's the most I've seen one of them go for? The New Mexico Been There series Starbucks mug. If you can find one of those, I know people have paid up to $500. Maybe not very often, but at least a couple of them have sold for $500 on Facebook Marketplace for 500 or up to. But that's ridiculous. I mean, that's absolutely absurd. But
was it limited edition?
There's just not as many Starbuckses in New Mexico. No, it's just there's maybe, I forget if it's a dozen stores in New Mexico, maybe a little more than that. But there's not many. There's extremely few for the size of the state.
Right.
And so the production of it was, kind of matches that. So
right.
The way they run their production is some multiple of how many stores they have. And I don't know the exact numbers, but.
No, Jabez. Jabez was saying, is the lid marked sterling also? And it is not. But it's a perfect fit and it matches and it just looks and feels. I mean, if you've been around sterling silver enough, you pretty much can tell.
Yeah, you'll know if it's not the right fit. That was a great find, by the way, Todd.
Yeah, that doesn't happen often. People. I put out a video about it, which nobody's watched, but it.
How clear is are the stamps on the bottom?
Very
pretty clear.
Yeah. Let's see.
And it probably stood out more when it was tarnished than it would now.
Well, sometimes it can go either way.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
We were worried about you, Nessa.
Yeah, the bottom wasn't all that much tarnished.
Oh, was it?
When I got it, the top and sides were really. But it's got the line and the lion, and it's got the sterling mark. Let's see.
This looks like something you'd make ramen in.
Oh, yeah.
You fit the top lid on it and let it steep, or whatever you want to call it.
Sure. Oh, yeah.
Let's see.
That was got a pretty clear maker's mark as well. That's awesome. And you think the number is a series number or a serial number, or?
I think the number is the style.
Style? Okay.
Yeah, this particular piece is given the number 1058.
Yeah, that seems if I recall correctly, that particular brand seemed to usually use a 4-digit number for most of their things.
And I think the 3 inside the shield there, I think that's a year marking, but I haven't researched it to know what year it was made. It doesn't really matter that much. Now, on a watch, the year of manufacture makes a pretty good difference, but
if you could type in, if you go to Google and you type in Gorham or Gorham 1058, the first 10 listings is for 1058 Gorham Road, Eldridge, New York.
oh, is that their address?
That's her address.
Maybe they
I did
knew
a
this.
image search for it as well, and I see, yeah, they do have lower numbers as well. They're not all 4.
Boy.
But yeah, I see that pattern of seeing a number inside of the box.
I should know what that's for, but I forget.
Oh, that's not what I want. Covered.
But folks, before you started reselling, would you even go to an estate sale and look at the bottom of something to see if it's silver?
You talking about me?
Anybody?
Well, I was in the gold and silver business before reselling. Well, technically, that is some form of reselling, I guess.
Right.
Todd, you're number 3. If you do Gorham silver covered bowl, you're number 3.
What do you mean I'm number 3?
You're the 3rd from the top of the listing.
What?
30. The first one is a pair that's $3,400, and then there's a $350, and then there's yours.
Oh, okay.
Oh, on eBay or on Google?
On eBay.
Okay.
$8 shipping. As much money as you making off that, and you're not doing free shipping.
Ain't nobody get free shipping. Pretty much.
You know, Todd, he squeezes a penny till Abe screams in pain.
Absolutely.
Shoot, it all adds up, Tom.
Oh, I know,
Yeah.
Todd. We're just
You gotta be smart, my young man.
We're just giving
Tom
you
likes to rub it in how he's a year and a half younger than me.
Yeah. No, I'm only a year.
Wait, who is the younger one?
Me.
Oh, okay.
Todd, you'll be 69 this year, correct? In December?
No, I'm already 69.
Are you really? I thought you were only 68.
That's because I'm pretty.
Okay. All right. Well, I stand
I'm
corrected.
aging well.
I'm 2 years younger than he is. Not 1.5. Because
Yeah, Tom looks 10 years
older
than me.
Kiss my ass, Javis. So what you got on your agenda today, Jake?
I'm meeting with a new potential distributor for some Amazon business. Since I can't sell Starbucks on Amazon at the moment, I've been working with this fellow for quite some time to maybe line up a couple wholesale accounts for products that I can sell on there that we will represent the brand together. He's worked for the brand in the past, and then he did some other things for about the last 5 years or so. Now he's ready to get back into it, where he represents brands to get onto Amazon, and he'll find a seller. But we're doing it a little bit differently, where he and I are essentially partnering, using his information, his knowledge of the
items.
Yeah, well, his connections with manufacturers and products. So I figure since I am working on getting on Amazon, on Walmart as well, I might as well go ahead and utilize that connection now where we can maybe sell on both platforms, because it sometimes makes it a little easier to get into some of the brands if you have both platforms, because everybody wants it for Amazon, but not everybody wants it for Walmart.
Right.
So sometimes the brands are a little more willing to give you a chance or a shot at it without having to do as high order quantities.
Right. Jabez asked, Jake, what's your opinion of your whatnot sale? What would you change?
I don't know that it would necessarily change anything other than I should have had probably maybe 20 or 30 items instead of 10. But I intentionally only did a few initially, just to kind of, dip my toe in the water. As far as what would I do differently, I don't know that I would necessarily do more differently. But for going forward, I've made myself a note that I do want to have at least 30 items on a show, and I probably won't do weekly. I will probably do a either a monthly show or a bi-weekly show. But I need to promote a little bit more.
Your show flowed.
Thank you.
As far as the way it was presented and whatnot, I think you did a great job on it because it flowed. You kept things going. There was no dead space.
Thank you. Yeah.
So that's just my opinion.
Oh, I appreciate that. Yeah, and if anybody has any other suggestions, I'm certainly always all ears for critiques and pointers, or if I did it, I would do it differently, and even if I don't agree.
The only thing is that it's the all the it's Starbucks mugs.
Yeah,
that's the big thing right there.
Mm-hmm.
Some people drink out of 49-cent coffee cups from Goodwill.
Sure. Yeah.
So it's it's collectors.
Yeah. I'll have to build a niche more specifically, and once I'm maybe a little bit bigger on there, maybe I'll even reach out to whatnot. There isn't a real good category for mugs specifically. There's home and kitchen, I guess it's called. That's the nearest category to it, and maybe they'll look at putting a category in that's a little bit more niched down that mugs will fit into. But
are there a lot of Starbucks mug sellers on whatnot?
I didn't see anybody else who's doing specifically only.
Right.
But there are some Starbucks mugs listed. If you look for Starbucks as a search in there, I think the last time I searched, there were 30 plus items, but it won't take me too long, to have 100 listed if I make some effort, especially in the buy it now section. I mean, I have, David, would you say 50 different states? No, I don't have all 50 states, but I have probably 30 different. I probably have 30 different brand new listings, which I won't let those go super cheap.
Right.
Because those are all discontinued and they're brand new in the original boxes. And they'll just go up in value some. But I have a lot of one-offs. That's what we were selling on the show. And that's what I'll continue to promote the show as, is the one-offs that I have.
Because I'm, just my opinion, and it might kind of sound kind of dodgy, but I would go into some when they're because I'm a dodgy kind of guy, when I would find out when people are having like Starbucks cups in their auctions and make an appearance, not necessarily buy anything, but just so that Starbuckster comes up, because Starbuckster has joined.
That's right. That's exactly what I do. I bookmark every single one that's in a live show so that it'll alert me when it pops into once they pin it, it will send me an alert, and I usually try to jump in and anytime that a pinned auction starts.
Right.
Yeah. That's part of my strategy. And that was part of the strategy too in the name as well. I jump into a live here or there, kind of randomly as well, and I'll usually get a few subscribers or followers, whatever. I got quite a few after the show, so I'm not sure where those came from after after my auction show.
Right.
So I'm not sure. I had a bunch join about the 24 hours after. So Thursday, most of the day Thursday. Yesterday, had a lot coming in. So maybe some of those were watching Beard's show after the fact, maybe
Right.
because my link was in there. I'm not sure.
Are you streaming that to your YouTube channel?
I haven't. No, I could, I guess.
Well, Scott's got to figure out how to do it too. I said, ask him if he streamed his to his YouTube channel. That might be a way too, because
The easiest thing would just be to set up an additional camera.
right.
Even if it's just a phone or an iPad that's streaming direct using
Right.
just going straight to it. Even if it's it'd have to be probably. I mean, you could use OBS. You could use
If
whatever, but
even if you just recorded it
sure,
and
I
then
gotcha.
uploaded it,
Mhm.
just so somebody's searching, like, all of us are always searching like Starbucks mugs, Kansas City or whatever, Starbucks
Right.
mugs. It would
Right.
might ping up your
Okay.
video. I mean,
Yeah, the video and then a link over to my whatnot.
because your whatnot
store.
is really focused on one thing,
Yeah.
or Starbucks there is.
Yeah. Right.
So you're really going to have to seek out the Starbucks mugs collectors.
Yeah,
Connie?
and I belong to a few of the Facebook groups as well, so I have to be a little careful in what some of the groups don't allow self-promotion.
Right.
If you're selling stuff, they only want to see people who have certain things, so I have to be a little careful in following their rules. But
Right.
but yeah, there's been their series collectors, which is the one that just got discontinued. That I have about 30 different ones of the 30 different unique ones, and I might have 20 to 50 units per SKU.
Right. But like I said, I enjoyed your show. It was short because you only had so many items, but it was it flowed. You weren't going. You see, well, you did, but that, like I said, you've got a fixed product.
Right.
These people that have like 47 Beanie Babies, all these plushes, some Tonka toys, all this stuff on a shelf behind them. You see anything that you want me to run back here? That kind of drags it out.
Yeah, my focus is a little bit more on what's towards the end of the show, and this was intentional, where I showed the rest of what's available to drive a little bit of demand for the next show, so I could know what to list and to make kind of not a false scarcity necessarily, but somewhat in that category where you have to bookmark the show in order to get whatever that next one is, and tell me, sometimes telling me what they want specifically, and I'll keep organizing it some more. I'll put it on the shelves the way it should be, and I'll clean the mugs a little bit better. I should have. There was a few mugs that I should have cleaned a little bit better. I noticed it when I was handling them. Of course, I cleaned them real well after the fact, but little things I'll learn like that.
Because I have sent the link to a couple of people that I know that they don't resell or anything like that, but they collect the mugs.
Awesome, yeah, and that could have been some of those that came over yesterday.
And because, like I said, you're going to have a different channel for your general merchandise, aren't you? Didn't you say that?
I have another channel. I'm not sure if I'll launch, if I'll actually end up using it, but I have a second store right now.
Right.
And tentatively it'll be for the sticks in a box, but we'll see. We'll just have to see.
So the name of the channel is Dirty Mugs?
Has sticks in a box. No, just kidding.
Sticks in a box.
I am thinking that the sticks in a box may sell better over on TikTok Shop because I can do videos of the trees and the.
I'm not laughing at you. I'm not laughing at you. I'm laughing at Mr. Sadie. He said, He said all those mugs and Jake is drinking out of a PB&J jar.
Actually, a ball jar, mason jar, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
Oh Lord. You leave it to Mr. Sadie to notice something like that.
Oh, I know he will. He'll notice it. I'll take it.
And
I'll
everybody,
take
it's like Jake has this thing. It says like over his head. It's like, okay, give me hell or something like that.
That's right. No, I'll take it.
All right.
Mr. Sadie only gives you a hard time if he likes you. So
Yeah, he does. He's a good guy. Todd, I got to go.
Yeah, I do too. I got
The
a ton
the
of stuff to
beloved is
do.
sitting across from me, and
I got 11 orders.
when you gonna get your house painted, Tom?
this weekend,
Is it gonna get done?
the biggest thing is waiting for the carpet to be put in because they haven't even called us back with a quote. I guess we're gonna have to call them and say, I can go 2 miles down the road to a Home Depot and
Yeah.
see if I can get a quote from them. But apparently everybody's busy right now. According to
So
one
are
of the
they
guys
even
that,
there painting?
pardon me?
Have they even started painting yet?
Oh no.
Oh,
No,
okay.
that's like a week out.
He decided to do it himself.
Yeah, it's $10,000.
Oh, you're gonna do it yourself?
Yeah.
Okay. Good. Good.
I'll bet 10
I mean, if you're
bucks he doesn't
replacing the
get it
carpet
done this
anyway,
weekend.
Pardon me?
if you're replacing carpet anyway, and a dribble here and there doesn't matter, then yeah, you might
All
as
the carpet's being replaced.
yeah.
But
Are you doing
according
your
to
whole house or just part of it? You had said earlier you were only going to certain rooms.
like 5 rooms for the paint,
Okay.
6 rooms for the carpet.
Oh my
The
God.
guy that was putting in the carpet said that a lot of people are not buying houses. I mean, even though a lot of houses are being sold, they're building a lot of houses. People are just decided that they're going to freshen up the house they live in, new carpet,
Yep.
new paint, new kitchens,
Yeah.
new bathrooms, and because
Interest rate.
the house is not expensive. It's the dirt that it's sitting on is what drives the price. Like our lot right here probably sell for $200,000, just a vacant lot, and then you have to turn around and build a house on it. So, you know, so I think they're just covered up with stuff like that. Not condoning them not calling me back with a quote yet, but anyway, all right, I got to go.
Okay.
Yeah, I do too.
See you guys.
All right,
So, folks, thanks for showing up for the show. Tom, thanks for coming in. Jake, thanks for popping in.
Absolutely. See you on the show tonight if Beard has one, and I think Beard is doing isn't Beard doing a Whatnot show today as well? So go check that out. Bearded Picker. I think he is
Doing his
on
show
Whatnot.
today.
Well, I think he's doing a Whatnot show. I don't remember now. I want to say it was maybe 5 Eastern, but I don't remember for sure. Anyways, go check him out. Follow him on there. You can find me at Starbuckster on Whatnot as well.
All right. Later days.
All right, y'all have a great day.
See you.
In